Hi, I'm Ash. I hope you're all doing fantastically well. Now, recently I asked you a series of questions. Well, I asked you to ask me a series of questions for a 20k subscriber special. So thank you very much for everyone who has subscribed, liked, commented, supported me, joined the Discord, etc, etc. Those of you who I've played with, the content creators I've got to meet throughout the years, it's sort of a bit of a personal achievement here and it's a milestone. So we have heaps of things to go through today. Emergence asks, do you see yourself playing War Thunder for the foreseeable future, and are there any new or interesting games you would like to see on the channel? One, my subscriber base is here for War Thunder and Flight Sim and World War II related stuff. I don't see that ever changing because that's just the demographic, and most of you are between 18 to 24 and then 30 to, I think it's like 55 in terms of age demographic. No one's really below that, so it's not really something that I can diversify into a great deal. I've got a lot of options here. I could start a new channel and upload other games to that, but that would be irresponsible. Obviously, then I'd be neglecting War Thunder because I'll be mainly focusing on a different channel, and with the way that YouTube works, it's not necessarily a viable option. I've talked about this in the past Crashes with Ashes. If you want to check out that series and playlist, you can click in the card above. Igor says, favourite plane to fly in-game? If you're talking about War Thunder, currently it is the Mirage 3, that's fantastic. In Flight Sim 2020, it is the Piper Cub. Can't really talk about that much at all. In IL-2, currently it is the aircraft you're seeing, the 110. I believe this is the G6 variant. Fantastic all-round aircraft, decent speed, decent manoeuvrability, and quite a nice visibility, as well as a very interesting sort of gun optimal ordnance layout. Justin Chan says, any plans for the future to have an Ash decal in-game? Yes, I'd love to have my decal featured in War Thunder. I'd also love to have a place where I can sort of go, yes, this is an achievement of my community and what it means to be a content creator. However, I feel that Gaijin doesn't necessarily let us know what the requirements are, because they would have, all the content creators wanting to get their own decals in the game. I have a feeling it's a selection process. However, I've been with the game for going on 8 years. Well, it's a seven and a bit now, but we're going on my 8th year now. And with that, there comes a lot more challenges. Obviously, content growth and expectations of, uploading and so on and so forth. So, is it really going to be a major waste not to have an Ash decal, when instead you could buy a Ash mug from my Teespring store? In your opinion, what is the cutest tank in the game? The L33. That's basically it there. Riskinator, who do you watch on YouTube? Many different content creators. I have a guilty pleasure of watching a lot of the Spiffing Brit and Remy Down Under. They're fantastic creators. Other than that, I watch a hell of a lot of history videos and particularly Rust videos as well, tickle my fancy. A Throwable Knight says, has War Thunder ever crashed on you during a match? Yes. What is your opinion on Premium High Tier, and if you'd love to see 10.3 Premium? Yes. How do you feel about historical balance in game? Yes. What do you think? Your favourite game mode, air, ground or sea? Yes. There you go, that's War Thunder questions answered for a little bit. Dylan Van Aswagen says, re or yeet? Definitely a yeet. Clive the Kiwi asks, how many drop bears have you slain while you survived in Australia? I'll tell you what, Kiwi, I actually had to fight one today, actually. If you can come over here, I'll show you the aftermath. See all this undergrowth here? Absolutely nightmarish. Had to fight one. It was all over the walls and all over the tree, and actually smashed this bloody pot right here, which I have to clean up later. Look at it. Absolute carnage that a drop bear can cause. I've installed this sort of temporary mesh to stop it from going anywhere, but bloody hell, drop bears, I tell you, drop bears. Zach RG says, interest outside of gaming. I'm a firefighter and I love helping people. Picture here. Obviously, I'm not operational as a firefighter, but that doesn't stop me from trying to do what I need to do. I love aviation. I got my pilot's license in 2018 here in Melbourne, Victoria, Australia, and there are several other different hobbies that I enjoy. I love history and I love music, and I love reading too, even though I hate reading at the same time. It's a weird sort of thing. Let's not go there. I have a passion for graphic design, even though I am terrible at it myself. But that doesn't mean I can't necessarily design my own stuff. Hell, in the rare examples where I've been able to design my own logo, it's been utterly fantastic. Saboteur asks, what and who inspired you to do YouTube? Well, I'm not really sure how to answer that one. I just kind of started doing videos because I had a passion in video editing. Should have mentioned that. In high school, I did video editing courses with Sony Vegas, and that was a fantastic experience. I remember doing that vividly, and I fell in love with the video creation process. Now, granted, as the years have gone by, I've sort of picked it up again, but am I as good as I was back then? Who knows? I guess it's just a learning experience and experimenting with different ideas and seeing how they stick, right? This brings me into the next question. Obi-Wan Kenobi says, do you look up to any other YouTuber or are you self-motivated? Primarily self-motivated at this current time. There was a point where I was inspired by other creators to make content, but at this point in time, I feel that that is not the focus of who I am. I'm trying to develop my own character, I'm trying to develop my own personal skills. For me, this is my personal journey, right? This is something that I'm trying to share with you. There's no point me trying to imitate another YouTuber or try to really sort of look up to another content creator. Vortex asks, what are you doing today? Recording this video. Dr. Gravity asks, have you thought about uploading new music content to your current channel? I do this playlist, Ash's Musical Inferno. That's about limitation with what I can do is the fact that I've only got a couple of instruments. So I do try. There is one song which I have yet to release. It's called Goose on a Loose, and I'm still working on that one. What is the video that you're most proud of on the channel by Cage? When I look at my channel, there's actually quite a lot of videos here, and there's quite a lot of video content. There's quite a bit to digest, actually. If I can find it. I am trying to find it. There it is. 10 months ago, this mysterious package arrived at my... Oh, hello, ads. This mysterious package arrived at my door, where I received this metal plate. Not just any plate. This has my logo on it. It's enamel. It's fucking beautiful. Not only that, I received heaps of comments and heaps of kind comments. And you can just see my arms sort of just shaking there. It's because, genuinely... I was dumbfounded, but the fact that people could actually send me something like this. Out of the kindness of their heart, they sent some kind words and a happy birthday and everything like that. And today, like, if I am ever feeling particularly down, if I'm feeling particularly lost, I come back to this video. It makes me happy, makes me feel like I have a purpose, and I have a sense of enjoyment out of this, and it brings the tears to my eyes every single time. Common for the Win asks, what guitar do you have? I have a Tanglewood TW28 Dreadnought guitar. It's been through utter hell. I think there's a couple of other numbers I'm missing. There's an E or something or other. Regardless, it's a British-built guitar. It is utterly fantastic. Sounds fantastic. Strings are a little worn down, and I've beaten the living shit out of this, so there's dings and scratches and dents in this thing. But it's been all around Australia. It's been in New Zealand. I've had immense memories and fun with this one, just travelling alone with the guitar itself. So yeah, it's got character, and it's something that is mine. So yeah, there you go, that's my guitar. So Steve asks, who invented Pavlova? New Zealand. Jetstorm asks, if you could fly any aircraft right now, what would it be? Well, I've flown Tiger Moth. I've got 13 hours in Tiger Moth. Obviously, I've done several hours in different other aircrafts. You've got your Cessnas and your Piper Cubs and your Warriors and your Archers and your Warriors and all those kind of different aircraft. They're all fantastic, but the one I really want to fly right now, what might surprise you, it's not the Boomerang, it's not the Wirraway, it's not the Mirage 3.0, the Royal Australian Air Force one. In fact, I want to fly a CAC Windjeel. Now, a Windjeel is a type of trainer aircraft that replaced the Wirraway after World War II, and it's the stepping stone which allows you to go to more high-powered aircraft. Now, I already flew number 2 in 2014, Avalon Air Show. I managed to get a ride in one, and flew around as number 2 there, as basically his sort of standby navigator sort of thing, and that was a fantastic experience. But one day, because it's a stepping stone aircraft that allows you to go to P-51s and Sea Furies and Spitfires and that sort of power rating, definitely a CAC Windjeel I want to do a solo in at one point. It'd be fantastic to do. That, or I go with a Harvard or something like that, but who knows. Subspacer, what is your favourite anime? No. Aaron asks, who is your favourite waifu? No. And what is the greatest challenge that you've overcome? Listening to a bunch of weebs tell me that I should watch an anime, and therefore I am now a weeb because I've watched Initial D, but how does that make me a weeb? I 3D over 2D, boys, come on. How do you separate a didgeridoo from a didgeridoo? Simple answer, you don't. Camping in a T-72 says, favourite heavy tank? I'm going to have a think about this one. Actually, no thought required. Bob Semple. Reasons 21 asks, why can't Australia win a war against a bunch of flightless birds? Yes. That's all I'm going to say. It didn't have to be a separate topic because I'd have to explain several different laws and factors and what happened and why, and yeah, no, let's not get into that one. Moose Marauder, how many near-death experiences have you had from all the animals that try to kill you in Australia? Actually, maybe two. Two near-death, I wouldn't say near-death experiences, but near, oh crap, that thing is coming to kill me moments. And they probably might expect you to say, oh, it's probably a spider, or it's probably a kangaroo. No, actually, it was a cow, right? This cow had decided to charge me for unknown reasons at my family farm, jump over a fence, yes, jump over a fence, and fucking start running at me and charging at me. Do not know what I did. I stood in the middle of the field. I was just fixing a fucking fence, and I got charged at. Fun story. What's better, Vegemite or Marmite? I mean, this one's really good, and this one's really good, but honestly, I prefer this one. Das Thomas asks, what do you want your future to look like? And in all honesty, mate, I have no fucking idea. It'd be a good idea if I could actually somewhat get a job, and that way I wouldn't have to do any online entertainment. It's not that I don't mind doing YouTube as a whole, and it ties into another question, which I'll get into in a bit, but I feel like I should be doing something better with my time. I should be working in a workshop 40 hours a week, earning, a decent living. That is my ideal future. However, that may necessarily change depending on, a few factors here and there. Also, say hello to the cat. Captain Mouselaw, what was your favourite game growing up? Now, I had a Nintendo DS as my first personally owned gaming console. I did have a Nintendo 64, although it wasn't necessarily mine, it was the family's. I did get to play on it occasionally, but it was stationed at my grandparents' house. One of my granddad's adjutants allowed me to play, I believe it was several simulations, like there was Wings of Prey, IL-2 Sturmovik, there was Blades of Thunder 2 and Star Wars games, etc, etc. But the first game that I actually owned myself was Freedom Wings in 2006, a little game where you controlled an aircraft and you flew over and did missions and completed the game. Wouldn't take you too long nowadays, but a fantastic bloody game with so many different types of aircraft in that game. It really inspired my passion for aviation, considering that I'd come and grew up, around trains and engineering, My goodness, we have got a heap of questions still. Joshua Chong, any war stories of your grandparents, parents in the First, Second World War, Korea, and Vietnam? Heaps of them that'll have to be a separate video. Plenty of stories from the family. Fluffy asks, what made you want to start YouTube? Simple reason, I was bored, and I really just sort of wanted to start picking up the pace of videos. I'd made one or two here and there, and I just started adding to the collection, and well, now we've got over 500. Actually, it's 432 videos, but we're approaching our 500th video, which is fantastic. Vernon says, new military vehicle dating sims. When? Don't know. Obviously, you're not new to the channel because, well, you might have seen my attack helicopter dating simulator videos. Yeah, let's not go there. Vano says, have you ever drank Old Baileys from a shoe? Yes, it was a very long time ago, and I was at a party with friends. Let's just say they're no longer my friends, long story short. Varnan asks, new military vehicle dating sims. When? Clearly you are not necessarily aware that I have done one attack helicopter dating sim. Let's not mention the fact that it's the first video, at least is the most popular in the search algorithm for some unknown reason. Silence Rat, or as I like to call him, Screaming Rat, why am I still here? Just to suffer. Full Metal Lemon says, how's your book idea coming along? It is actually doing really fun. For those of you unaware, I am writing a book. I'm not going to disclose it just yet. In fact, I'm not quite ready to even discuss the details about it. But it's a particularly interesting book, and I've taken inspiration from a lot of different types of video games, and even some, sort of pop culture in a way. It's a great experience learning about different parts and how a book actually operates, and, character boarding and mooding, learning different elements about a certain type of or story. Master Blender, why is your name Ash? Actually, for several reasons. One, it was my initials and basically when I was a kid, and it was also my nickname. I've been known as Moose, Ash. I've been known as words of wisdom just because of the way I speak and just the way I handle myself. Obviously, during cadets, my nickname was Ash, so I used that particularly to my advantage, and I just sort of stuck with it. It's one of those kind of nicknames you just sort of keep going at. Now, why is your voice so calming? Haven't the foggiest, mate. Haven't the foggiest. Apex says, since you were an aircraft mechanic at one point, what was the most interesting aircraft you have worked on? That'd be a DC-3. We had one at the Jetstar hangar just at Tullamarine Airport, and when I was doing my initial training, we got to do a bit of, field maintenance on the thing. Now, it was sat outside on the grass taxiway, and we didn't really touch it too much. There's sort of a bit of concrete where it attached to the massive areas where we maintained A330s and A320s and several other sort of vehicles. There was also the Qantas terminal as well, but it was the most interesting for me because it was a warbird, and it wasn't something that was modern. It had character, it had charm. Yeah, sure, it was a little rusty, but she still flew. And one day, we were sort of cleaning out all of the bits and bobs. We're cleaning under the engines, the landing gear assembly, and someone found the biggest spider I have seen ever come out of the bottom of that thing. I don't know how it was there. It must have been living there. There must have been a lot of mosquitoes and stuff that would come and sit on the aircraft, because the aircraft was stagnant. It was sitting there. That's one of the things. Foreign object damage includes critters, animals, snakes. You could get a rat or a possum in an aircraft. Wildlife is quite intriguing. But I remember the flight instructor who was teaching us, and the lead maintenance engineer there, and he turned a shade of pale and threw up on the concrete. That was a memorable moment for me. But yes, gentle old lady, that thing, when we got it cleaned up and sparkling, she ran like nothing else. But yeah, that's the DC-3. Also have another interesting story with Suzy Q, the boomerang with Tamora Aviation, that thing I have a particular interest in. And there is a P-51, I've forgotten the name of the P-51, but it's down here at Point Cook in Victoria. That's a particularly interesting aircraft. Anyway, we've got heaps of things to talk about and heaps of other things, but we're going to do one last question. Drunken Jedi says, in retrospect, what has been the most challenging thing about working and growing a channel? Was there a moment where you thought, crikey, this really isn't going to go the way I thought it would? And what advice would you give to anyone looking to start or grow a YouTube channel? If you're going to start a channel, my advice to you is consistency. Continue doing things frequently, experiment with different things. Obviously, I'm at a stage where I don't know what the hell I'm supposed to be doing myself, so even if you're featuring non-War Thunder, even if you're doing vlogs or you're doing other gaming stuff, just keep pushing your content out. Keep experimenting, keep learning. For me, the most challenging thing was fighting the algorithm to get views. And my videos do okay, but if it's not a War Thunder video, it basically flops in comparison to any other video. So know your audience, that's another thing. If you're developing an audience, ask them what they like, ask them what they think about different things. Sort of get their opinion on what your videos are like and what they dislike. And for me personally, there has been quite a few times where I thought I really wasn't going to continue doing YouTube at all. There have been quite a few times where I've just wanted to stop. I wanted to delete it all. The only reason why I keep going is because I have a small but dedicated and loyal community and fan base that tends to watch my strange videos. So, believe it or not, if it hadn't been for some of you guys, and this includes the supporters, the patrons, the people who are commenting, liking, what have you, even my non-War Thunder stuff, if it wasn't for you, I probably wouldn't be alive right now. And it's moments like these where I sort of have a think. Obviously, as a firefighter, someone who loves to help people, who's someone who has lost everything and has gone through an incredible amount of turmoil in the last 5 to 10 years. I think that just continuing to do things is really important. You can ask all the questions about, War Thunder and which premium do you regret owning, and if you knew what War Thunder became, would you start playing, or would you look at this lineup or that lineup or this jet or that? But in the end, does it really matter? No, it doesn't. It's just another journey, another video game, and I'm here to share that journey with you. There's heaps of other questions I'd love to answer. In fact, what is your favourite country you want to go travel to? Well, Japan, that's on the list. What is your favourite food you've ever had? I love pizza. And there's so many other questions, so thank you very much for helping me celebrate 20,000 subscribers. It's been a fantastic couple of years. I don't know... I can't put into words how much it means to me that you guys have subscribed. But I'm also reminiscing on the good times and the bad times and everything that's happened in between. It's a fantastic community, and I'm glad that you're here, and I certainly hope that you continue to stick around as the channel evolves and does its next thing, and I continue to do whatever I do. That being crashing a JU-88 on takeoff. Thank you very much for watching, boys. My name is Ash, and I'll catch you in the next one.